here for another masking and bemoaning, and it's going to be a quick one because there's actually very little to talk about. I'm going to be removing my makeup while I do this. Same thing that I did kind of last time because that's kind of becoming the to-do. Alright, today we're going to be talking about Malcolm and Marie. It is going to be quick because there's not a lot of plot, actually, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It stars Zendaya Coleman and John David Washington, son of Denzel, which was very apparent in this particular movie. Just like his way of speaking and his some of his acting, which I mean you can't help because your parent is your parent. And it is directed and written by Sam Levinson, who is also the creator of Euphoria. So all this will come back together. That goes with the Zendaya connection. Okay. Getting into this, what I would say about, I want to say that Malcolm and Marie is, in my opinion, I don't want to say it's bad, but that is the first thing that came to my head. And it's not even because of the performances. Like, Zendaya and John David did a good job. But it was just like, the movie was too long. You know, it was like, at some point I was like, them arguing? Y'all gonna do this the whole time? And then also the first thing to start off with is that this whole interaction starts off at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So keep that in mind. And I mean shouting matches, and it's like, who can say the worst things to each other? Think of it in the same wheelhouse as Marriage Story. But also, it's not even fair to compare with Marriage Stories because there was more plot in Marriage Story. It wasn't like you see the breakdown of a complete relationship. You see it throughout the time. So you get different conversations. It's not all that one scene that everybody likes to harp on about where, Adam Driver says like he hates Scarlett Johansson. I don't remember their names, but that's who was in it, and it was horrible. It's like, why could y'all? He basically tells her that he hates her and wishes that she had died. Like, you can't come back from that. And Malcolm and Marie say similar things, but it was just like they would argue to this degree the whole time, and then they would play some kind of music, walk off, have Zendaya specifically in various states of disrobe. Because, while I find John David to be eye candy, it is not, it is not missed upon me that Zendaya is the one that is scantily clad throughout most of this. I don't know if it's like you trying to prove that she's wrong, because Marie is like, barely legal herself or whatever in this, and we're still, even though they aged Malcolm down, but so is Marie. I think she older than Marie? I don't know. Well, he's 31 and she's, or at least the story goes that she's 30. No, Malcolm is 31. And when he meets Marie, who is a fresh 20 and a drug addict. Also giving me Euphoria tease. He loves, Sam Levinson loves a biracial, drug out girl with all sorts of issues. I mean, I was just like, Rue and Marie, it's not looking to be much different. But yeah, the fact that they argued through the whole night, and I was just like, enough. And besides that, the other thing was, this also seemed to be Sam Levinson's sounding block for the one time he got a bad review from which actually it wasn't actually all that bad a review, because I have also seen this project. I did not know it was him for Assassination Nation that some writer had in the LA Times, and her point about how, you know, in Assassination Nation, the girls are like vigilantes or whatever, but it's just like so many things, and then like it happens throughout the whole town. So, but it's not really important, but so much focus on their bodies and sexual while they're doing, you know, actually it's something that is not traditionally female. It was cool, but it's like that's all you focused on. It's just like there to the point. It's just like if I'm going out being a vigilante, I need to be more covered than this, you know, because that has its own risk as well. So he felt away, and this was like him lashing out. And then another thing, he was lashing out, just screaming, you know, at the top of his lungs about Barry Jenkins. And it was just like, do you feel some kind of way, Sam, about Barry Jenkins? And did you think this was the time for you to have some kind of soundboard about it because, you know, you had your actors be black and biracial? And yes, I'm separating like that because it's relative. I say because, you know, y'all like it's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing, but you know, Zendaya got a whole white mama. That just is what it is. She should not. It's a different experience from even John David, who has 2 black parents, and those other people that you picked. So that is what they are in the show. But you know, the whole time of him, like no one gave like it, and keep in mind, all of this is happening like 2 o'clock in the morning. And y'all just outside yelling and arguing and saying terrible stuff to each other. And it was just like, and then the part that really pissed me off, you had me watching this for basically an hour and 40 minutes. That's how long it is. And there's no resolution. Like I said, just sad things that you cannot take back from each other. And of course, I'll see some people try to justify it with you know, Malcolm should have been more appreciative, which he should have. I understood why Marie was mad. Like, basically, Malcolm is a filmmaker. He makes a movie, and this was their opening night. It's called Imani, about some drugged out 20-year-old, and they go through their whole relationship like that. And Marie felt like that was based off her life, even though he goes on to say like it's many things, but yes, you're an influence, but you're not the only influence. But in the heat of the moment, he forgot to thank Marie, so she was kind of she was pissed about it. That's the gist of the story. And they are just horrible to each other. I'm just like, y'all just need to break up and keep it moving. There was no resolution. They still seem to be together at the end of this. You know, it was just like, well, he said something awful to her that I think that, particularly when she's in the bathtub, again, in another state of undress, that he's talking crazy to her, but she turns around and does it to him. And it's just like, yeah, you a drug addict who likes to, you still have addiction. Once you're an addict, you're always going to be an addict, but you have addiction issues that does not go away. Versus the kind of people he was talking about, because even when he was running down his list of influences, and I'm sure it's not all the people he dated, but you know, it needs something to be said about why are you so attracted to such broken people. And, you know, and I will also say, besides them arguing this particular night, it does seem like, you know, Marie doesn't advocate for herself, and she, you know, is self-destructive, which that's why, you know, some of both of them insults hit. So it's more than him just being, oh, he's a narcissist and he's ungrateful and you don't think about anybody. And, sorry, I'm doing a peel, so it fell down. But, you know, there was truth said, but at the point of there's a way to argue with people. To the point that, you know, people are like, you should not argue when you're angry, because, you know, like my mom always like to say, you cannot unring a bell. And that's what I felt about this whole movie. See, that's succinct and to the point. And he's gonna be like, well, this is really short, you're not giving all this, all that. Like, girl, boy, they, them, y'all, they was arguing the whole night with no resolution, saying the most horrid stuff to each other. So I'm like, what is this? This has no rewatch value, in my opinion. It's very few things I felt that about, because even if I'm not crazy about the whole movie overall, I would rewatch a lot of things that I think are just okay, you know. But this is joyless. There is no resolution. Beautiful gown, literally, on Zendaya. Beautiful, beautiful cast of those two people. They look great. And even when they were trying to evoke emotion, like she had that knife or knife, acting like she was going to do something when she was trying to act out. Because she's also mad that he didn't cast her, that he cast somebody else. But it was like, girl, if he wasn't there, he even brings it up. This is the one kind of time that did make me laugh. It's like, well, you're doing all that, and he thought that, you know, maybe she's gonna do something with the knife, because again, they had both been drinking. And then she's like, see, that can be your movie. He's like, well, why didn't you do that in the audition? Valid question. I was just like, and then I'm gonna say another thing. I did not believe for 1 second she's gonna do anything. But as soon as she did it, after they had this big blow up, when she was discussing about not being cast in this movie, about her life and all that she felt about her life, because it literally could be many people. So, you know, it's not a unique story. It's like, girl, you did drugs, you got clean, yay you, I'm glad. But you're like, that's not the only story. So, but I'm gonna keep it a book. I was like, I saw this with Euphoria. And, you know, she won an Emmy for Euphoria. And I like, as much as I actually like Euphoria, my main criticism is gonna be they could have been grown. I don't understand why they had to be children. This did not have to occur in high school. I know that everybody in the show is technically grown, but this whole fascination that Sam seems to have with teenagers doing things that are this explicit. I'm not naive. I know that all this happens. It's just like, but come on, you know. There needs to be some kind of escape, to the point that you're making a show about teenagers that teenagers legally could not actually watch. Like, if this was in a movie theater, they couldn't go see it. The people in their age group they're supposed to be playing. You know, that's an issue for me. This whole thing is like, you are sexualized specifically and championing toxic relationships, especially among women and femmes. I will say that. That's what I say. As well. But even that happens with the guys too, and I'm just like, but they're all like children, so it doesn't escape me that a couple of his projects happen to, you know, lean this way. So it's not, and I think it's supposed to be so, they get so hung up on themselves, which this could even come out with like Malcolm, why he is actually the voice of Sam Levinson. It's just like, but yeah, you are too caught up on this, and everybody that else is that is a director. Everyone's allowed their opinion. So what? Then I don't like it. Did the world end? Did you not still make your money? Do you still not get your deals? Because me here in Tennessee didn't like this movie. Is that a big deal? You know, it's like not really. You know, and as a creator, as an artist, everyone's not gonna like your stuff. That just is what it is. But yeah, that's that on that. I didn't care for it. It has no rewatch value, and that's that. Okay, so I'm gonna get this up quick. I know y'all like, but you said you were doing Lovecraft Country. I have done Lovecraft Country, but I wanted to get this while this was on my mind. And though it does not have a black creator, it did have 2 black stars, so I'm including this in my Black History edition of of Masking and Bemoaning, where I'm reviewing movies. So yeah, is there anything in particular you want to see? Like Lovecraft Country is done. It's just gonna take more editing than this. I'm not putting up a bunch of pictures and doing things and giving you any kind of context. It doesn't deserve all that, because it didn't give us much to work with. So here we are. All right. That being said, I want to see more things with John David Washington. I don't mind Zendaya. But yeah, I've never thought she's like this great actress. But you know, I enjoy her. I wish I have no ill will to. I don't think that it's not terrible. I was like, I didn't think that either one of their acting jobs was terrible. It's just that the premise and the setting just terrible. that was terrible. I was like, I actually think that, you know, two actors did a good job. But yeah, that's that on that. All right, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go wash my face and my body and, you know, get in bed. So catch y'all later. Remember that Nessie loves you. Bye. And what did y'all think of this? Did y'all think it's a mess too? Or are you watching this and looking like, you know what? That's all I need to hear. I don't need to watch this either. You can save 100, I don't know, hour and 40 off of your life. Okay. All right. Bye, y'all.